Stay tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hey everybody, Spider here once again, Coming Soon podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas, being joined by writer-director Eduard Castrillo, my man, and of course, Derek Hogan Jr. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us on.
No, for sure, man. And I was going to say, is that a bear behind you? What's going on back there, man?
Yeah, that's the banner I have for the poster, Bears on a Ship. So
No, for sure, brother. And then, I mean, this is something bittersweet for myself. I mean, I was able to actually partake on this via perk. So, of course, I've been looking for this project. I mean, the whole Bears on the Ship. I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, man, I was thinking, planes on the snakes on the plane. I was thinking, so of course, let me start off with that, bro. When you started writing this, I mean, was that a big influence?
When I started writing it, I was in contact with like a filmmaker and like a distribution company. And like they were trying to jump on the whole like Winnie the Pooh like trend, like everybody was doing like IP type of stuff. And I wasn't really feeling it, but it was like, all right, if he's going to give us a budget, like maybe I'll kind of look into, you know what I mean? Like, let me see what like I can pull together. And so, it's just like looking at the different things that what was like what is it called? Public domain.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, maybe Goldilocks and the Three Bears, like we can just get like a cabin in the woods, so, some killers and like, dressed as bears or whatever. And so I was looking up like, the bear costumes or, researching bear stuff. And I was like, okay, like it's not too expensive and everything, but I wasn't really kind of feeling it, like I didn't really want to kind of, I don't want to say like follow the trend, but like everybody was jumping, like the Mickey Mouse and all that, and everybody was just like, I don't want to, And I had, a friend of mine who's like the owner of the ship, and I've only ever like helped, like being on there or anything like that. I never actually filmed my own movie being on there. And when I kind of put two to two together, I was like, hey, wait a minute. And then I was talking to my wife and I was like, what about bears on a ship? Like what if people are on the ship and then they get eaten by bears, there's nowhere to go and stuff. And she looked at me and was just like, you're crazy. And so as soon as I heard that, I knew I had something, like, that's like the one thing you kind of want to hear, like, oh, okay, like that means that this is somewhere to go. You're like, oh,
for sure, man. Let me say this. I mean, if you would have been like, oh, that's cute, what would you have thought? Like, nah, next.
No, it would have been like, oh, okay, like like I wanted something that kind of like where it's like hey, like just kind of stops you in their track, like, hold on, that's an idea, like like that's and that's kind of how it was, so like that's like how she expressed it, like, oh, that's a crazy one, like that. I'm like, okay, like because I'll have like ideas all day, but then like when there's one that hits, that's when you're kind of like, okay, this might be the one.
I got something.
Yeah, and then I started writing it like kind of then and there. I would write a page and then I would show her, just like, oh, read this, and she's like, how is this any in your head? Like how are you thinking up this stuff, and everything. And then that's when I started reaching out to like the actors and stuff, and I was like, hey, like I got this idea. What do you think? And then almost everybody was like, I'm down. Like, like almost everybody, like, but like, some people were just like, like too much stuff going on or anything like that. But like the ones that like, once they heard Bears on a Ship, they're like, I'm down. Like,
nice.
The ones who were supposed to be in it were in it, and just,
No. And of course, I mean, that makes sense, bro, because when it comes to actors, I mean, of course, they're going to want to do something that they're interested in. I mean, I know for myself, I mean, I jump in indie films here locally and, I have fun. So they ask me, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm with a different character, something I've never played. But yeah, man, I mean, that's kind of cool that the people that you had, as far as involved, were already in it, because, it kind of helps you because you don't have to worry about like, oh, man, like convincing them into like getting into character or whatever the case may be. But that's fun though, man. I mean, I dig it, man. Like I said, when I first saw the name, I mean, that's the first thing that popped in my head. And of course, when you thought of that, I mean, that was basically your startup point. So from there, you're like, okay, what happens? What happens here? What goes there? And
Mhm.
how long was the process for that?
I think Derek can verify this. I think I had like 26 drafts, right?
Yeah, you had a good amount. You had a good amount that
Yeah.
they were all fairly good. It was just like subtle changes like throughout, but it was great.
Yeah. Like, because like I would just start writing and then I got, to the end of the draft and then I sent it to like everybody, right? It's like, okay, let me know. And then the more that people like kind of jumped on board and, I started talking to everybody, like the more I started to, I would say like bring a uniqueness to their character,
Right.
like it's like, oh, like if I do it like this, like, oh, actually this kind of fits this actor a bit more, and just kind of, and then I would write a whole new draft and then would send it, and people would give me like feedback, like, oh, like what if this or what if that? And it's like, oh, you know what? That's good. Or, but what if this happened? Like, and yeah, it was like 26 different drafts. It was just kept going and going and
Um,
I was
and,
on it.
and when it comes to this project, I mean, were the people on the cast? I mean, even Derek, had you guys worked prior?
No,
So
Oh,
that
okay.
was that's an
this
interesting
is
one.
my
So
first time.
yeah, you want to go ahead and tell the story, Derek?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, it was my first time. To be honest, it was through a mutual friend that I heard about it, and I didn't know what it was at the time either. She was just like, "Hey, I have a friend that's looking for an actor that can bring it," and so she's like, "Can you send me all your materials and stuff?" And so I did, and probably like a few days later, that's when I got the call like they're interested. I'm like, oh snap, okay. And then I was able to talk to Ed via email and on the phone, and it was like, oh my god, this role is like tight. I love horror. The genre is like sick. And then it was a crucial time because we were going through the actors strike and writer strike at
Oh,
the time.
right.
So you had everybody like, standing in like solidarity of that, and we got the pass to do an indie film, and so I was like, heck yeah, like I want to work. Like let's do it.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. And I've forgotten about that because yeah, luckily that
Hmm.
thing went, flew over and everybody was back to work because
Yeah. And then
productions
in
were on
Northern
hold, man.
California, it was very
Yeah,
dry. Like we think that it
yeah,
was a drought in Southern California. Like Northern California was very dry. So for him to get this film up and going the way he did, it was amazing and it was fun.
yeah. It was tough. We lost a couple people because of that strike. Yeah, our
Absolutely.
soldiers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. But the bear still made it though, right? He hung on there. He was like, I'm gonna be in
The
it.
bear
Oh
still
yeah, the
did.
bear
Yeah,
the
he hung
bear
on
wasn't
there.
going down without a fight.
There you go.
Ah,
There you go. Man, bro. And let me ask, when it comes to the bear itself, man. I mean, costume, was it CGI? Was it a little bit of both? I mean, what did you guys use for the film itself?
yeah, it's going to be a mix, definitely. Um, we yeah, we were trying to do like like practical.
Right.
We had costume and everything like that, and then I was even looking into animatronics. But the price for that, like they had a really good bear and everything like that, but it was our whole budget.
Yeah.
It was like the entire budget of what we raised on Indiegogo, and so it was just kind of like, yeah, costume it is. Like, and so yeah, we did the costume, and anything that we couldn't do like in costume or anything like that, we did for VFX. Like, so we did it like a mix, because like you can only do so much. Like we can't, like it's a ship, so it's like we're not going to be like jumping in the water in bear costumes or anything like that. Like like we got to play it safe, we got to play it smart, and yeah.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, talking about the ship, man, something happened to that. That was like after you guys were done, but I mean, there was an incident that happened, and of course, I don't think it's no longer with us, right?
This is true. Yeah. The day after our final shoot over there, one thing happened was like it was attacked by pirates, right? Which is like, oh, it's attacked by
Really?
pirates. But no, like I guess something had happened in the middle of the night and like they got in and stole something, or like, like the ship on the side of it, like they blew a hole, or you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
like then, they ran off in a speedboat, but robbers in the sea are called pirates. So we just like, oh yeah, it was attacked by pirates. Like, but
Oh, okay.
then but then after that, it exchanged hands. Like the owner exchanged to another, got to like a new owner. And during when it was in, the new owner's possession, I guess it started like leaking oil or something like that. And then, the state decided to put it to rest. They scrapped it not so long ago. And so this is the last film shot on that ship. And
Wow,
like,
dude.
yeah. And it had such like a long history. Yeah.
No, for sure. And I was gonna say, did you guys keep anything from the ship? I mean, I don't know what you can get from there, but I mean,
No, I don't think I took
No.
anything. No.
the pirates took everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have the photos, we have the film, and it's on the poster, so it's like, hopefully its memory can like live on, like we can share it, people are going to see it on this big screen for like the last time. And so,
Well, that's good that at least they get that, because the film will be there and people can go back to it and be like, hey, it was above water at one point. But man, let me go with Derek real quick. Derek, when it comes to films, I mean, what was it? When did you get interested in films or involved in films?
Yeah, I had a very very weird journey getting into film. I started out in stage, and for about, I guess you can say, 4 or 5 years, it took the longest for me to navigate how to get through film. It was no one in my family knew how to do that. I was the first, so it was like it was very hard to figure out like what community to go into, where to go, where's auditions being had at. So yeah, I had to learn off of trial and error and just off of relationships. I had the toughest time like navigating through this ever changing career. Yeah, but I finally landed and found my community, and now it's up from here now.
Let me ask you. You said it was hard. I mean, because when was this? Like, how many years ago was this?
Yeah, I started doing theater when I was 9, and since then it was like just doing stage plays in the church and just local theater, like in San Francisco and in Oakland. And ever since, I would have like some auditions that people would like claim like, oh, it's gonna be on TV or it's gonna be on this network, and it just like never happened, or it would like always fall through. And
Yeah.
so at a very young age, it was like you're almost being discouraged because it's like your parents don't know anything about it. Your uncles and aunties, like you don't know anyone. So you're just trusting every single body that you're coming
Yeah.
across that can guarantee you like a quote
No.
unquote career or like success. And, you're just young and hungry, you're trying to get after it. And that was just knocking on so many doors that were just like either empty rooms or it was just too hard to open up. And so yeah, that was my way of navigating. And went to college and found an internship and it started interning at BET. And from there, that's kind of how I started learning like, okay, this is what I need to do, this is the route that I need to go, this is a reputable talent agency versus somebody just wanted to take nude pictures or wanting you to take your clothes off, and it's just like weird,
That's
so
another
yeah.
episode. But yeah. No, no.
But
You see,
eventually, yeah, like I said, I found my community and was blessed and honored to get a role like I did with Ed.
no, for sure. And the reason I was asking was because even now, I mean, with social media, I mean, it should be easier, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of people that are, promising false, hopes. I mean, there's films, you hear it all the time. People are like, oh, starting an Indiegogo, and I mean, there's like a few out there right now that they're already known for trying to create something. They don't finish it, and they just keep the money. So of
Mhm.
course, you want to be able to go with people that there you are, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm presentable, a little bit presentable now.
No. Appreciate that. But yeah, so even now you still gotta, look out and watch, I mean, do some homework. I mean, ask
Yeah.
around, see who's worked with this person or whatnot. But I mean, it's not that way anymore, right? I mean, it's gotten a lot easier. You see that community, you got people you can actually depend on and trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary though, because like, as far as like the filmmaker side, because you don't you don't want to get that rep, like it's like, oh, because people are putting their trust in you, actors are putting your trust in you, like hopefully it comes out and everything. And this is a years long process. Like we shot 2 years ago, now, when you kind of look at it, and it's kind of like, people, they backed they backed us 2 years ago. It's like, hey, like, and it's like you don't want to disappoint anyone, like, like you really want to you want people to believe in you and keep believing in the project. And so, now that we're kind of, we're like at the finish line, we're getting, everything ready up to start screening it. Like, it's like, because you don't want that. Oh, he just took our money. He's not finishing. Like, it's the worst. Like, you don't want that. And there's some people who just, I don't know what it is. Like they'll do like 5-6 Indiegogos and don't put anything out, and you're just like, bro, like, like, come on, like,
one of them, and that's the thing too, because when it comes to filmmaking, I mean, I never knew the process, of course. So for me, there's like, oh, so and so starring in this film, and they're in 3 films that year, and I'm like, damn, how did they do that? But a lot of it is a process because it's not gonna come out right away. I mean, they got to wait on budget, on editing. So of course, when you see that star and they're like in 3 films at the beginning of the year, you're thinking, man, how did they manage all that? But it's all in the years process, 2 years process. I mean, I hear that too. I mean, a lot of it just depends. I know for the most part, even a local filmmaker here, I mean, it took him 2 years, and it was just, finding the right people, finding the right location, just kind of back and forth and doing the homework. And then, he had a premiere a couple months back, which,
nice.
Still doing great, man. It's like, I mean, he was up in Austin, and he sold out there. So I was like, dude, that's cool, man. I mean, saw the film, it was great. So
yeah, it makes it worth it. Like, there's nothing like that feeling. Like you're just like, oh man, like I'm happy to share all of this. Like, you're there, you're watching it, and everybody's enjoying it, and it's like, yeah.
Man, let me share this image real quick because I want to hear about this right here, bro. This right here, bro. What is that, man?
That's the Bears on a Ship billboard.
And when I saw that, I was like, well, is that digital? I mean, is that real?
That's a real billboard. Yeah,
because I saw
it's an electronic billboard.
Right.
Yeah, it was out here in well, I don't live in Castro Valley, but the city was called Castro Valley, where we're having our premiere at.
Right.
And I had gotten some time on the billboard over there, and went and took pictures with it and everything like that. And it was a fun time. Like I felt so good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, because I wasn't sure if it was real. I meant to message you on that, but I mean, it's real. You see it up and you're like thinking, damn, it's happening. It's like finally one of those kinds of relief, But that's cool, man. I mean, it's like,
I gotta send one over in your guys' areas.
I know, put it out here, put it off the highway, man, where everybody can see it, brother. Put it by the airport. There's always traffic out there, Sure, but yeah, man. But I mean, the premiere. Tell us about that. I mean, when is that? That's coming up. What, in a month?
Yeah, end of April. Yeah. So in Castro Valley, April 25th and 26th, we got both night showings, 7 p.m. At the Chabot Theater, which is like, it's like this old 75-year-old theater, historical theater, and they're letting us show on their anniversary night too. Oh, and so nice. It's like, hey, like, so it's really
no pressure, right? No pressure. And I think I saved that image for the theater too, because I was looking at that. I was like,
yeah, no, they're gonna put it on the marquee and everything. It's gonna be lights, and I got a little red carpet, to kind of put on the ground so everyone can walk in. I'll have this backdrop so people can take photos, and yeah, it was just Derek's gonna be there.
I will.
Yeah,
is he the one that's wearing the bear suit, or no? Am I No, but that's cool, man. I mean, I've been to a few just attending. I do a lot of BTS. When it comes to filmmaking, so I'm always taking shots, doing video clips. But I've been to a few local premieres, and it's a good feeling, man. I'm not a lot of the films I'm not in, but I've helped out, or I'm like, you know what? But it's a good feeling because they're like, man, all that hard work, all that time. I mean,
it's fun. It's
cool.
It's yeah, like you said, like there's nothing else like it. It's a great feeling.
Oh man, heck yeah,
so
dude.
Yeah, so we have this one, and then I'm actively trying to book more. I've already booked the LA screening. I haven't told Derek this yet, but right, I haven't told you, right? LA is booked. We have a
Right.
screening the month following.
Damn.
Yeah, we booked LA. And then after that, I'm reaching out to different cities and different states here and there. Some said no, some have not emailed back.
I know. They're next.
Yeah,
No,
but
but you see,
indie theater in San Antonio. I'm down. Like, I'll put it
got
over
it,
there
bro.
too. I've never
Yeah.
been to San Antonio, so it's like, hey, you got a couch I can crash. I'm down. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
I actually do, man. I got a futon, bro. So I probably feel like 5 people in there. Bring everybody,
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
man. I
hey,
mean, actually, here in San Antonio, man. I mean, it's been like Rico Theater's been pretty good for a few filmmakers, man. City,
Dope.
Brook City base on the South Side. They're really, really good when it comes to indie films. So
okay.
I'll definitely plug you in, man, and see if we can get that happening. Even if
Yeah,
I have
down.
to do.
Like, I just been on it, emailing, like, hey, what's the process? Like, oh, you contact them, you contact this, learning all kinds of different stuff. I was taking an online course, the Cine Road Masterclass, filmmaker Peter Hayaguchi's his
Uh,
class on how to get your film into theaters and things like that, and it's helped a lot. Like, and so yeah, I'm trying to get screening after screen. Like it's like theatrical. You know what I mean? Like there's just that's the dream. So
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and Peter, I interviewed him a couple of months back. Actually, I interviewed him the month before he started on that tour.
yeah,
So he was like, "Yeah, I'm touring with it," and I was like, "Really?" And then I follow him on social media, and I was like, "Damn, this guy's everywhere, man." So yeah, I mean, he definitely made a roadmap, literally, where
yeah.
he just popping his film in all these different theaters, bro. But I mean, and I think he's like right outside San Antonio too, man. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's from Texas. Yeah, Texas has a couple of stuff going. There's Abel Berry. He has Dr. Gift,
Yeah,
a film doing. Yeah, he's going to be doing a premiere out there soon.
sweet,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, there's just filmmakers are doing it. They want to see the theaters. They want to see it on theaters, and which they rightfully should. Yeah.
Well, you
Mhm.
see, and one of the good things, and I mean, I guess I can get from feedback from both you guys, but when it comes to filmmaking, a lot of the big, you know, labels or brands that are actually putting the movies out, they're streaming, so a lot of them aren't even going to theater, So that's kind of it's like a little boost for you guys because now it's like they need films, and it's like, well, what else can we use? And you got all these indie filmmakers out there, and it's like, okay, well. A lot of indie filmmakers have been getting that opportunity to put their movies in the big screen. That's pretty cool, man. I'm definitely a supporter, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like they got movies starring like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, all these big names, and they're going to Netflix, and they're going to streaming, they're going to Amazon, they're going, you know, not so much Tubi, but like, but they got movies going to Tubi, like, and so it's just like, hey,
Mhm.
like, if the studios aren't going to have the theaters backs, and hopefully the film, indie filmmakers and theaters can work something out.
Yeah,
No,
it's a really good feeling though now because just think about it, like when COVID first happened, all it was streaming. You couldn't even go to the theater to enjoy. And lately, me and my partner, we've been going a lot actually when I think about it, and it's fun. It's like it's getting back to like the way like life should, you know what I mean, be.
Yeah.
And
no,
just like it's almost like, dang, like I want to tell somebody to like be quiet, but it was almost like, dang, I needed this in my life again, where there's people talking in a theater or whatnot, and I'm just like, that's not theater etiquette, but it's like, damn, we missed that
yeah,
for a good, for a good chunk of time. So I
Yeah.
enjoy going to the theater, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And
no,
so
for
now, like
sure.
to know that like we're gonna have a project like within it and having a theatrical release, like it's exciting.
Yeah,
It's
and then you
really
just shot
exciting.
one too, right? Like you just
Mhm.
shot it's a horror movie
Yeah, so what we did was a psychological horror as well, this earlier this year, and
as
it's going
well.
through, yeah, it's going
Yours
through
is a
post production.
psychological horror, bro.
Yeah,
For,
for
for, him,
real.
for him, it probably was. For him,
These
it
are some
probably was,
smart
man.
bears. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Yeah. We don't have any bears. We have a killer that's on the loose.
Yeah.
And
No.
that was a process in itself. Like I found myself hitting up Ed, like, dude, like so much respect to you and being a filmmaker and being a director, because filmmaking is hard. It's tough. And this was my first time ever doing it. And Ooh, I don't know if I have the strength in me to do it ever again, honestly. So
No,
the
I'll
fact
stick to
that you can
acting.
continue pushing them, it's
Yeah.
man, it's a testament
There's
to who you
there's
are.
a saying out there where there's a lot of first time filmmakers.
Yeah.
There's a lot less second time filmmakers.
Oh, no, for
Like,
sure,
yeah.
man. And that's the thing
Hmm.
too, because I guess, and then I've interviewed directors before as well, man. Where they tell me like, you know what, I've been doing shorts for so long, like now they're ready. You know what, we've been doing it. We kind of were learning from each one, and now they're ready for that feature film. And even then, it's like, damn, it's a whole different animal, But those that can continue to do it and make it, and for sure, we appreciate it, man. I mean, we want you guys to keep putting films out there.
Yeah, this is number 10 for me.
Yeah.
So I've done 10 feature films. Uh, and you would think they would get easier, and they don't. They don't. Sometimes they get harder. Sometimes you learn more. Like, I mean, you learn after each one for sure. And it's like, oh yeah, I learned this and I learned that, and that's going to make the next one easier. But something always pops up, like you can learn everything. You're like, okay, I know not to make this mistake with the camera. I know how to talk to the actors. I know how to do this and everything like that. So I'm completely prepared for this movie. Right. And then we get on the ship and it's 120 degrees inside the ship and we're all melting. And it's like, oh man, like you think you prepare for everything. And it's like, oh, I'm going to get fans. I'm going to get all this stuff. And then it's still not enough. Like, like, oh man, like, you try to do everything you can to kind of prep, but it's really how you roll with the punches and how everybody else rolls with the punches that kind of make the experience like once in a lifetime type of thing. It's very unique. Like I've had like a lot of fun in all my films and stuff like that, but Bears is just something else. Like there's just something that was like how I was explaining the writing. I hate writing. I hate writing. I'm not a writer, but this was the first time where I had a lot of fun writing the script.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun writing the script. I had a lot of fun shooting the movie. Editing, a lot of times I don't like editing. It's so tedious and you're just like, oh, I wish I had this shot, or I wish we could have got that, or I wish, but I had a lot of fun editing the movie. Like it was just, watching everybody you're just laughing and this is a funny movie. It's a funny movie. I mean, just some of the stuff that happens and what they say and what people do, and you're just like, oh my gosh. Like, like it's good.
No, man, and I was gonna say too, because when it comes to, filmmaking, like you said, I mean, there's days that you guys were out there and it was hot. I'm curious to know, because the boat was in the water. So did anybody get sick from being in the boat?
No, nobody
No.
got
Oh, okay.
sick. Actually, I don't believe anybody complained. Like
Nice.
that's what made it dope. Was like I didn't really hear like you knew the circumstances. Like okay, like you got to muster up you just got to do it. You know what I mean? Like you're here, we're on set. Like let's knock this out. But
Mhm.
it's like we're literally on this boat rowing it together. Like
Yeah.
literally. So it's just you either if you can't do it, it's like if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Like if
Oh
you
yeah.
can't
Well,
take
get
the
out of the
heat,
boat,
get
right?
off the boat. You
There you
know.
go.
Like we came
Yeah.
here to accomplish something, to accomplish this mission, and that's what we're gonna do. Like so, despite the bugs, cobwebs, to me, that's what added to the atmosphere
Yeah,
of this
makes
film.
it more realistic because they're all
Yeah,
swapping.
that's what made it so much. That's what made it fun for me. Like I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, that's what made it fun. It was like the cobwebs, the weather, the mucky murkiness of it all. Like that's what made like the elements that you just. It was a great day to film, in my opinion. Like it
Yeah.
was great.
And it was
Wow.
good too, because like a lot of the actors, they're meeting each other for the first time and everything, and you kind of, they're getting along, and you kind of see them, they're all bonding and signing all the posters for everybody, and just like, oh yeah, like, step by step, and you're just, it's like it fills your heart to see, like you don't I've been on sets where there's like, you know, the diva or, you know, things like that. And you're just like, oh man, like, you know, but when you're seeing everybody just laughing and talking, you know, signing the autographs and like, wow, this is cool. Like, you know, everyone's excited to be
Enjoying it,
there.
No
having fun.
ego, just no ego at all. Just everyone there, ready to work, prepared to work, and honored to work. Because again, a lot of the acting community, a lot of it, you're constantly trying to find work as an actor, and I mean, even as a director too, you're constantly trying to find work. What's the next thing? What's next after this? And so in that aspect, it's like, let me enjoy this moment. I'm
Yeah.
never going to get a moment like this again. You know, there can only be one Bears on the Ship unless Ed wants to do another sequel, you know, but like there can only
The
be
ship's
one.
scrapped.
So
The ship is
right. So,
scrapped.
so
I don't
you're
know a
you're
lot of people
enjoying
with
it.
like ocean
You're like
liners.
you're happy to be there. And that's what it was for me. Like I was happy to be there. I know I have a lot of friends that were not working, and I'm like, you know, what could happen? What could possibly happen? You're here doing what you love, and this
Oh
man
yeah,
here gave you the opportunity for you to do what it is that you love to do.
Yeah.
So like let's create, let's bring these words to life and have fun. And that's what it ultimately was. It was just fun. The weather conditions and things of that sort, that was like secondary to like once those cameras were rolling, once you see Ed like wiping the sweat from his forehead, like let's get into it, you're there.
yeah, everybody's sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, let me ask you this because I am in Texas. I mean, for us, like summer is like 108 and 110, man. So what's
Year
summer like
round.
out there? Pretty much, bro. It's summer today. It was cold last week. It was freezing last week, and today I was actually sweating. I was driving home, and I was like, "Damn, it's hot." But summer, what's summer for you guys out there? What's the temperature?
It's I know it's hotter for him than it is for me.
Yeah.
I would say we get 90s, but when we were in that ship, we were hitting over hundreds. Yeah. Yeah,
Damn.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Summer. I just moved to Sacramento about 2 years ago, and like the hottest that I've seen, just like in my car, like probably like 108 to like 110,
Damn. Okay.
just
Mhm.
about.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, out
But
there.
like
It's
every
weird.
day it being that, no, that's just the highest that I've seen. Now I know with Texas, that's like every day.
That's our morning, bro. No, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
Yeah.
No, but you know what though? I don't know if it was last year or the year before. We had like months of 105, bro. Like it was freaking like I didn't
Mm.
even want to. I didn't see my yard in months because it was so freaking hot, dude. Like
Yeah. You
when it
know it's
oh.
finally
hot when the
cleared
devil
out,
tells you to go back inside.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You see the devil in the pitchfork. You're like, all right, he's good. You know, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
He said you don't want to
it,
come to this playground. Not today.
I just caught myself saying that because I didn't think about it, but yeah, I hadn't seen my yard in a while, man, because I was just like, dude, I ain't going back there, bro. Like it was just, I mean, nothing grew. It was hot, but
Yeah.
when it finally like started getting cold, I walk out there and I'm like, oh shit, my yard. You know, it's been a while, man. I haven't seen it in a while, man.
How you been?
But yeah, I mean, but of course, I mean, when it comes to the film, man, I mean, one of the good things, and of course, you know, Derek mentioned also, you know, being out there and actually working with other people. I mean, I enjoy it and it's fun, dude. It's just, you know, I get a kick out of working on another project and I see 2 or 3 people that I've worked with in the past one. I'm like, oh, hey, you know, it's like a little mini reunion, man. I mean, the chemistry's already there. You know, you just keep going. So, I mean, of course, it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
the fact that,
And you hear like stories too, like, you know, where like, you know, people are like, you know, the director shouting at the actors or, you know, "Ah," you know, and everything like that, or, you know, just being rude or things like that. And I just don't get it. Like, come on, life's too short, you know, like, you know, there's more important things going on. Like you're doing this because you love it. Like, you know, like, yeah, like it's just not, no, it just doesn't make sense to me.
no, you see, I mean, the past projects that I've been on, like I've never been in that situation.
Mhm.
If anything, I think what adds, you know, like what y'all mentioned earlier too, because of the heat or the environment, it adds a little bit more character to the character. So
Yeah.
now we're like bothered and you know, and so the character just kind of goes. We just put it, make it part of the character, and let's keep going, you know.
Mhm.
But it's been good, man. You know, I've jumped on quite a few, you know, as far as feature shorts, you know, and I still got one later on this month that I'm looking forward to. But it's just like for me, it's like it's experience, and I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning. I want to keep, you're out there networking. Before you know it, you meet somebody else in the film that's like, hey, there's another project, and you just keep going from there. It's just
And the thing too is the community is so. Excuse me, I'm burping. The community is so small.
Yeah.
It's just weird how like everybody's just like, oh, like him, that, or like, oh yeah, I've seen him in this year film, or it's just like, oh, like the community is so small. And this last month, for like the first time, I met people who I met on Facebook, like in the community, like, and it was like at a horror convention, and it was just like, oh wow, it was just like seeing an old friend, like, hey, and that's like fun too. The conventions, I mean, those are great. Like, I love those as well. And it's like, oh man, like if I can like, do the movies and do conventions and just, see everybody and just kind of be in that atmosphere. Like, that's the thing. Like both of those have like good atmospheres, and just, supportive atmospheres, positive atmospheres. And
No, I agree, man. I mean, I attend events like every weekend, it seems like, man. And it's just, it's fun, dude. I mean, I befriend like everybody, from the vendors, the promoters. I mean, I just go out there, and I mean, a lot of them, they gave me the opportunity to do to be a moderator, or do the Q&A. So, and that's cool because I get to meet the actors, and I'm there hanging out with them, and I'm like, all right, I'm kicking it with Leatherface or whoever the case may be, man. But that's it's fun, the fact that my thing is too, and I will say this because I think last year I went to like 2 events, and I ran into 2 people that I had on, and I was like, oh shit, hey, dude, like I was like, damn. But yeah, like you said, it's like meeting an old friend because I'm like, yeah, I've never met this dude, but it's just like a common respect, and it's just like, see you at the next one, man, and we just keep going,
Yeah. And then we did LA Comic Con this past fall. Derek, was that your first convention?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
That was my very first time, and I had an amazing time. It was so much fun. So much fun. Being invited to that, and then knowing like just how big of a deal LA Comic Con is, it was just like, whoa. I had people jealous of me because they couldn't even like get tickets to go, and so I was like juiced that like I was able to like go there. I'm like, for free too, like heck yeah.
That's a big convention. They had thousands and thousands of people. Like, yeah. And so
is that a 3-day weekend?
Yeah.
Oh damn! I was gonna say because if it's that big, yeah, bro, I would imagine you can't see everything. It's like
no, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't do everything. You miss a lot of stuff. Yeah, like like a bunch of big name actors and stuff like that. And it's like, oh wow, so and so, But then it's like, oh, I gotta keep a budget.
I know, right? I can't buy everything, man. I'm like, and that's what I always tell people. I said I go out there and I said I can't buy everything, but I'll take pictures and post them. I'm like. Stuff that I want, but I can't buy, but it's, but yeah, there's a lot to go down. And I will say this, I mean, Derek, man, because I do, and I think Eduardo, I've talked to you about this because I've covered like combat sports, and I've covered MMA, I've covered kickboxing. So media pass for me, it's like key, man. So I'm like, it's like better than VIP. So, people are like, man, you're K-side. And I'm like, yeah, like nothing, right? But I've been fortunate to cover a lot of big events. I mean, a lot of regional promotions, but being K-side for like Bellator, for UFC, it's pretty cool, man. Like it's like you see it on TV, and now you're here getting blood splattered on you. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. I was like, oh yeah, friends that fought in Bellator and stuff, and I've been teaching, for 5-6 years now. I've been teaching 5 years, teaching Muay Thai and boxing and stuff like that, and then been at the gym since 2010. Like,
Yeah, can we see the Bear doing any Muay Thai or no? It's just strict nature.
I don't know. Was there any Bear Muay Thai scenes in this one? I don't.
That's a sequel, right? Sequel, man.
But I can tell you that bear suit, the claws was real as they come. I will say that. Like those claws were no joke, dude. I was like, where is this made from? Because this is too sharp. Like, those are real.
Yeah. And I mean, let me ask you that. When it came to the costume, I mean, is it? I don't even know if it's right to say, but is it like bear size? I mean, is it like an actual? I mean, obviously it's for somebody to wear, right? Or is it just like the paws, the head?
To me, it was big. I don't know. To me, it was big. I don't know who. I don't even know who it was inside of it, but it was big.
It was big. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a bear in real life, so it's like
No,
I don't know how
that's the
big
reason
they
I'm
are.
asking because I've seen like bear paws and somebody was like, "Oh, it's a real one," and that thing was freaking huge, bro. Like I was like, "God damn," it's like a. But I don't know if it was real, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm sure they can be pretty scary. Like,
Yeah.
no joke, brother. I mean, that's one thing. I'll leave it in the ship. I'll jump out. I jump in the water, man. I'm like, out of here. But man,
yeah,
but of course, I
If
mean,
I
the
was directed to do that, I would have done the same thing. It was dope.
man, and of course, let me ask you: when it came to shooting the film, I mean, did you guys take any breaks in between, or was it like a straight like two
no,
week, 1 week?
yeah, we had to take some breaks. That first weekend we shot, I think 4 days straight, and
Dang.
then because yeah, from that first weekend, it's like you shoot as much as you can, um, and we didn't hit our Indiegogo goal.
Yeah,
So it's like you use as much as you can and everything like that. Keeping the cast and crew fed, keeping them in the hotel and everything like that. Like you're just doing everything you can like to keep the shoot running, and then after that, we scheduled two more shoots at the end of summer.
yeah,
So went back, edited everything, and then it's just like, yeah, it just took me a while to save some money and then, get everything back, because it's a big cast. Can like when you kind of think about it, I think we had like probably 10 or more cast
yeah.
there at one time,
Dang.
because it's a monster movie creature feature, but kind of like in the same sense of like a disaster movie where you have people of all kinds. You have the rich prissy people, you have the vacationers, you have the bad guys, you have good guys, you have different types of people, which like gives you different personalities, and you see them all interact, which is like most of the fun. So it's like, yeah, we had a big cast there, and then you have the crew as well, so it's not just the actors. You
Yeah,
have your camera, your audio, you have everybody there. um yeah, and we're just trying to get everybody there like the same day. It takes a lot of planning and just scheduling, and it's like, okay, and then we got it again. So it took about 4 full weekends. So
okay,
yeah.
okay. And
Mhm.
let me ask you, because of course, I mean, the fact that scheduling alone, I mean, I can only imagine, especially if you had 10 cast members that had to be off those days to, you know what I mean? Like people work,
Yeah.
people do other stuff, and it's like, man, I can only imagine, like, you crossing your fingers and thinking, man, like, let everybody show up or everybody be available.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that sometimes some people were not available, and so this was all established like even before the first weekend. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm not available for that, and then it's like, I gotta find somebody else, bro. Like, people who I've worked with many times before, like that. It's like, hey, I gotta move on. Like, this is our shoot date, and so but a lot of people were understanding and everything like that. And yeah, we just kept moving forward. The show must go on, and
Sure, man.
we got everything that we possibly could before the ship sank.
You see, and then that's another thing too, because I mean, when that happened, I mean, of course, the previous owner, I think you said somebody else already owned it, right? So,
Yeah. So
man,
yeah, even then it's like, oh, maybe we, and everything like that. And it's like, oh, because by then you're like in the editing, you're like, oh, I wish, we can get this insert or this cutaway or something like that. And then it's like, oh, you don't have access to the ship anymore. It's like, well, we're not getting
turn on the
that.
news and you're like, well, never mind, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty much like that. It's like, well, never mind. Like, that's it. Yeah.
No, no. Let me put this up because of course we've been talking about this, but this is the film, of course, Bears on the Ship, and
Yes.
that's not the actual bear size, right? I mean, but it's, I have to fill up the poster, so of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. But I mean, when you guys came up with that, like you mentioned, I mean, you liked the idea, you pitched it to the people, the actors that you were going to get involved. Was there anybody else that you pitched it to? As far as like another director that you kind of look up to, or maybe family, you were like, hey, what do y'all think? Like,
Um, Not really. Like, I mean, once I started telling everybody, like, it was already kind of like, it was like official, like once, because I started writing the script, And when I started writing the script, I was in Poland at that time with my wife. And so it was just like me and her, and so her daytime is like our morning. So by the time I was reaching out to actors, like, hey, you want to be in this movie? It's like 3 a.m. Like, so you can imagine getting a message from me at 3 a.m. Hey, you want to be on Bears on the Ship? And I'm like,
half
what?
asleep, right? Sure. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, no, I told my mom, like, hey, like, this is it, and once I told the crew, like, oh, they were just like, hell yeah. Like, absolutely. Like, I was like, hey, do you want to do this? And they were like, yes. Like, they were like 100% supportive. The crew, the actors and everything. A story I did have, Derek knows this story, was before the SAG strike. I had worked with an actor, Tony Todd, on my 4th feature film. And I reached out to him to be on Bears on the Ship. And so we had this hour-long phone call. He was super down. He wanted to do a comedy. He was like, oh, that sounds so much fun. He's like, that's like Snakes on it. He was like, oh, who am I going to be? And I was like, oh, you're, the engine controller, the engine chief. And he was like, oh, you're going to keep me in the engine room? And so we worked on the character, and we, wrote this whole story arc for him and everything. Like, we just collaborated. And then the strike happened and he wasn't able to do it anymore, which, I completely understand, and everything like that. The actor, who I got to play his part was very honored. It's an old friend of mine who's been in my movies before, and he just knocked it out. He killed the role. And, and I was just talking to Tony, in person after that. I took a picture of him, was wearing this shirt and everything. And it's like, we're going to work together again. And then he had sadly passed not too long ago. And, I just felt honored, even though he can't be in the movie, just
that he said yes,
that he gave us the gift of just talking about it and working with the character and just building that story arc for him, and just like all these things, and just that conversation alone, like, it's going to live with me. It's just, I'm going to carry that.
Man.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Cause I mean, you saying that now, I mean, I'm kind of thinking like, man, that would have been pretty cool, man, to see him in that sort of, the whole
he was
thing,
super supportive, super supportive and everything. And I just, I even now when I'm shooting, like, I carry like friends who've passed, like all their memories and everything, like, and I've said this, before, where it's like, hey, like, yeah, making movies is hard and everything like that, but the hardest part is when you're putting the in memoriam in the end credits, like, it's just like, that's the toughest part. So it's like, at least you did it, you feel, everything like that. But once you have to say goodbye, to a friend that was in the movie, and you're seeing them and everything like that, and you're just like, oh, this is the toughest part. So it's like, it makes everything that much more meaningful. Like, when we doing the premiere and everything, another friend of mine, she was in the movie. She passed away too. And so I invited her family, so hopefully that they can come to the premiere and kind of see her on the big screen as well.
Dude.
The last, what I mean? Not like, I don't want to say last time, but like, just to see her, having fun, living her dream, just, enjoying that. Like, I had to reach out to her family, like, hey, you want to come, just come. Like, I'll have seats set aside for you. I know, yeah. So
you see, and that's pretty cool that they have that opportunity to do so, because it's like, for me, one of the things people keep asking, as far as films, and I'm like, man, I want to be in movies that I know my grandkids, my great grandkids at one time can look and be like, oh, damn, this grandpa or great grandpa, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be on there forever, man. And it's just
exactly,
so it's like, I mean, that's
why we do it,
Yeah,
it's one thing to shoot a movie. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but if you don't finish it, no one's ever going to see it. And that's the reason why I finished them. It's like, it's one thing to shoot it, but that's the reason why I finished them. Like, like, I want to be there. I want to share it with everybody. I want people to see, everyone's performance, everyone's hard work, the crew's hard work, everyone's, doing their best. And it's like, it deserves to get seen.
No, for sure, man. Like you mentioned earlier, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be coming up. As far as and once again, where's the theater at? Where's it located at?
Chabot Theater is in Castro Valley, California, up in the Bay Area, the East Bay. Yeah, we got 2 showings there. If we sell enough tickets, they'll add more and more. Like, it's an actual theatrical release. Like, it's not like a rental or anything like that. Like, they're really supportive, like, theatrical release. And I've been going through all the channels, like the box office earnings.com, all that, submitting the information and everything. Like, it's all new to me. Like, this is like, I'm like, oh wow, And so when I reached out to the theater in LA, and they're like, okay, let's, we'll put it in for a night and everything. And it's like, yeah, if we do a good job, then we'll get, more and more theater screens. Like, that's
for sure,
the hope.
man.
That's the dream. And so, yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't gotten your ticket yet,
Get it. And of course, and let me say this, because the people that are watching this, I mean, there's other directors that I've interviewed, and they go back and they watch these as well, man. And it's like, if they have a theater that might be interested, they can definitely reach out to you guys as well, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, we'll go. We'll be there. I mean, I know me and Derek will be there. We'll do the Q&A. We'll sign the posters. Like,
Down on it.
Yeah, I let my job know. I'm like, hey, like, I'm glad you guys helped me pay the bill, but no, I'm just kidding.
Right,
I'm like, hey, I
gotta do
gotta,
this.
but my work's been super supportive and everything like that. Like, my coworkers will go and get tickets and see it. Like, yeah, I'm very grateful, and yeah.
No, for sure, brother. And of course, and let me ask this, because when it comes to, I'm going to post this up, but the people that want to follow this, of course, they can go to your social media outlets. Are they both under UNCF? Because I know you're on Facebook and Instagram.
The UNCF Films, yeah, it's on the Facebook, it's on the Instagram. We have the YouTube.
Right.
YouTube,
Right.
You can tell I'm aging myself. We got that YouTube.
MySpace,
Maybe the MySpace. No, but I think that's it. I don't know how to use the Tick and Talk. Yeah, that tip top stuff. I don't know how to use. Yeah, maybe one of the actors can help.
You see, and of course, and that's what I was going to say too, because I mean, it takes everybody. For those that are watching,
it does. Even the Instagram, like, it's someone else's helping. Franco, my mom. They're running the Instagram now. Like, they're doing the Facebook. Like, sometimes they'll post on the Facebook, and I was like, oh, okay, like, oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, like, everyone's helping with the social media, because no, like, it's just too much sometimes. Like, it gets overwhelming. So it's like, yeah, like, I think just focusing on getting the movie is a good place to kind of put, where my head is and everything, and just reaching out to the theaters and the emails and everything. Like, yeah, I'm really thankful people are helping out on the the other way, posting and everything like that. That helps so much.
No, yeah, then that's the thing too, because when it comes to social media, and I'm sure Derek too. I mean, when it comes to networking, I mean, you have to constantly keep doing that. The algorithm's a bitch. Really, like, somebody was telling me earlier today, and they were like, "Man, like, as much as you post, I hardly see your stuff." And I'm like, "You got me blocked." No, I'm just joking. But I was just like, "Man, it's true."
That's a whole. It's a whole nother beast. Honestly, it's a whole nother beast. You have to, like. And it's like a homework almost, or like a skill that you develop. What time of the day, and who's all on, and who's at work and who's not at work, and
you have alarms set up.
What time are people on their phones at, like, this sort of time? And, like, I could say, like, just even for the film that I just completed, like, we were pretty lucky that the director, her partner was a marketing, like, guru person.
Oh, nice.
So with the support of, her marketing skills, she was able to kind of, like, promote. And because I'm not good at that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good. And so I wouldn't even know from, like, where to start besides share.
I'm even worse. Like, I'm worse with that. Like, I'm trying. Like, I have to get reminded to post. Like, okay, you have to post something today for the movie, so people know. Like, okay, you're right. Because it's not that I'm like, oh, I'm old school. Like, I'll print out the poster and then go like, hey, can you put this up in your shop? Or, I'll be in the bear costume on the street handing out flyers. Like, here you go. Like, oh, I'm not
in California. Is that a good thing? You won't get shot, bro?
Nah. It's just the the strategy alone still is like word of mouth, in my opinion, is like the
Yeah.
best like marketing
No,
strategy no
definitely.
matter,
Yeah.
and so far there's already a buzz for this film, and it was definitely a way to just, again, because we started this during the strike, so it's like if you got a project going during the strike, you're doing something.
Yeah. No,
I,
yeah.
I think with that, we got to give a lot of props to the poster artist. Like he
Oh,
killed it.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
legit killed it. Like I mean, he when that poster came out and everybody saw it, and that's the thing is everybody saw it.
yeah.
Like I never had
hmm
that where it's just like random people from the internets were just like commenting like, "Oh my
yeah,
gosh!" And it was like backhanded compliments. Like this looks so stupid. I have to watch it. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, I'll take it. Like you know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
like, okay.
And it's like, I mean, I get what they're saying because I watch those movies too. Like, I watch all kinds of
Yeah,
creature movies. I watch the Sci-Fi Channel stuff and everything. Like,
definitely,
and I
man.
love it all. But we worked hard on this, and like, everyone brought their A game, and it's not like tongue in cheek where everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, a bear!" Like, no, like everyone brought their A game. Like, like we had people in tears and like it was good. Like one of the actors has a master's degree from like in acting and the bachelor's well
Man.
I mean like yeah master's degree in acting like straight professional like everybody on set was professional like
Yeah.
I hired like full on
hmm
professional
hmm
actors, full on professional crew, like we all like they kicked butt and I'm
Yeah,
super
man.
proud of the team that we put together. Like it was like watching the movie, I'm insanely proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so well put together. Like just even having like the conversations amongst the other actors that I've met, you could just everything just fit. It was like the perfect puzzle piece to what Ed put together, and it was like it was beautifully put. I must say, it was
Nice.
definitely beautifully put together, and everyone's like it was very character driven in my opinion too, and that's what made it like much more worthwhile, is that like a lot of he trusted all of us to make these choices and to just bring it, if he had to do, if he had to say something or give you a note, obviously he would, but to me there wasn't much that he really had to do. It was so good, and everyone brought it, like just brought their A game. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was it was beautiful.
That no, I trusted my actors, I trusted my crew, and I
hmm
I and that's the thing too, like, on set, like, even as Derek, like my mom's on set. Like so it's like
Yeah.
I'm professional, but it's like I'm also like, respect, respect like, oh, you
Yeah.
gotta respect every, yeah, like yeah, my mom raised me right. So it's like, I'm gonna
hmm
be, respectful to everybody. I'm gonna be, courteous. I'm gonna make sure everybody's eating, like I was like, yeah, like, we gotta have our snacks, we gotta have our water, like we got to make sure everyone's taken care of and everything like that. Like,
He
it's not
set the
my home.
foundation.
Yeah.
He set the table. He fed everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
He did it. Yeah.
My
He
mom was
served.
working hard, climbing up those stairs back and
hmm
forth from that ship and everything. Like I keep it, like when you're on set, you want to keep people who you trust and everything. And like, it took a whole team, everyone
And
who was there.
again, 115-degree weather, like
Hmm.
top of the morning, afternoon. Like his mom was just a workhorse going up and down. Like it was a workout in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the stairs that's leading up to the ship, and then you have the stairs that's going down. Then you have to
Yeah.
like hit like the
Yeah.
dock, and then you board the ship. So there's two flights of stairs that this woman is going up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's a
Now,
beast. Yeah, it
I'm
was.
gonna clarify. I didn't make my mom work.
Yeah,
Like,
you
hey,
didn't
you're
make her.
a PA. You got to, no. She's, my mom's been there since the beginning. She's been so
Nice.
Yeah.
supportive. She loves being on set. She loves the
That's
teamwork
cool,
and
man.
everything like that. Like it's her dream as well. Like she just loves it. She loves the dynamic. She's laughing at the jokes. She feels fulfilled by the art, watching everybody grow, watching the actors grow, watching the crew grow and all their craft.
Just
Like,
tell me.
yeah. So I'm very fortunate to have the family that I do.
No, man. I mean, and then that speaks wonders because, of course, if you were to step out of line, I'm sure mom would have put you back on it, man. So
Yeah.
she'd be like, "What are
She's
you
done that
doing?"
on set before.
Yeah, You're like, that's not part of the film, but whack, back up there. Dude, but that's cool, man. I mean, the fact that I mean, like I said, I mean, everything I've jumped on as well has been fun. I've enjoyed it, and it's like the fact that it seems that everybody had a good time when they're filming, man. That's speaks wonders, because at the same time they're gonna want to come back and work with you. They're gonna be like, okay, well, you know what, I've worked with them before. Let's go back and I mean, keep doing work, man.
Yeah, and then people are gonna watch it on the big screen. They're gonna see your part on the big screen too.
Sure, brother. I'm ready.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I keep checking
you have your scene on there. Yeah.
I keep checking my email for that flight confirmation. I thought you guys were gonna fly me out there, bro. I was like, what's going on, bro? No, man. But I saw that and I was like, dude, I'm excited, dude. Like I said, I mean, it's just the fact that you guys are getting it done and it's coming out and people will be able to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. I appreciate everyone that came in and supported the project and kind of made it happen. Like that year, that year, I just a few months before we started shooting, I got laid off from my job. And I didn't know how I was gonna. It was even before this was even an idea, and I didn't know how I was gonna shoot again. I was like, all right, I have to figure out. I'm gonna have to find a job, or kind of figure how I'm gonna do everything. And I was on the unemployment, and then shooting this movie, and it was just kind of like once I had that idea, it was kind of like, oh, do you wait until like you have everything settled or anything like that, or should you just go, just run with it? And so everyone was just supportive, like, let's just do it, let's just run with it. We'll raise as much as we can, everything like that. But we're making it, and that's the thing is, if I would have waited, that shit would have been sunk.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Would have been gone. That would have been, that's it. Like it would have been it.
Then that would have been bears on a pier or something, right?
Right. Oh, bears at the park. What
else we got?
It doesn't hit as much. Yeah.
Man, I think we lost him, bro. But man, I mean, of course, we're gonna be wrapping this up, brother. And of course, I was gonna ask Derek to see if he had any last minute words. Let's see if he pops up. But anything you want to say, brother? Do you want to pick this up? I think he's jumping back on, by the way. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, there he is.
There we go, Derek. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
There you go. No problem, man.
Yeah, change your shirt.
Yeah, there you go. I was just telling Eduardo, man. I was going to see what you guys had any last minute words before we wrap this up, man. So, Derek, do you have anything you want to say?
Oh man, any last minute words? Yeah. Whoever's on, make sure you go check out Bears on a Ship. Shout out to Ed for bringing me on. It was amazing. I can't wait to work with you again, my guy. Hopefully, there's a Bears on a Ship 2. Or something, or panda bears on the ship. I don't know.
There you go.
Shooting in Hong Kong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Polar bears on the ship. But, yeah. Again, it was super fun, and thank you again too for even allowing us to be on your platform. I appreciate it. It's been great. Just being able to have the experience as an actor and promote a beautiful piece, a beautiful story, a well put together story at that too, is amazing in itself. So again, to both of you guys, thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. But
thank you so much for being a part of it, Derek. Truly, like it was definitely an experience to be sharing that with such a great team. And yeah, Mario, thank you so much for having us on your platform and on your podcast. Like that was a lot of fun. And Bears on a Ship has a Facebook page, if people want to follow it, or Uncia Films is my company name, and you can follow us, check out our films and everything like that. And be prepared.
Sure, man. Thank you both for jumping on here. Don't hang up yet, though. Everybody out there, of course, once again, make sure and follow them up. This is Spider once again, coming soon podcast as always. So next time, follow up.